Welcome to the Half Man podcast. My name is Fowobi. Today, let's talk about why you need a husband or wife rather than a partner. I strongly believe there are certain responsibility attached to those titles, or let's just say to that title. The title husband or wife compared to the title partner. I don't think there's any expectation attached to you being a partner, at least in a sexual dynamics though. In a productive sexual relationship. From the perspective of a man, men will adjust to anything that is presented to them. If sex is constant, to some extent there is peace, clean home, autumn. For women though, women do not adjust to just anything that is presented to them. She can say she wants a partner, but the expectation is a husband. If you ever meet a woman that use these words, I want a partner. As far as I'm concerned, she wants you to fulfill your obligation, which is be my husband, protect me, provide for me. But she does not want to be a wife. That is not a good deal for me. Hell no. Like seriously, and that's why I teach on this podcast that if you know you genuinely want to marry, either you're a man or you're a woman, watch how you use words. Let her know. I'm not looking to, I want a wife. Let him know I'm looking to settle down and be a wife. There's a huge difference between a man or a woman that is looking for a wife so he can become a husband for her, compared to a man or a woman that is just looking for whatever comes along the way and say, okay, what's a year? I think I should break it down like this. From the lens of a woman, it's one thing to say, I'm looking for a husband. Why? You get me? Why? It is more better, I am looking for a husband that I can be a wife to. Think about that sentence. Or I am looking for a wife. I want a wife someday. The question is why? So I can be a husband too. Because there are responsibilities attached to those two statements. From the lens of a man, the expectation is provider, protector, to be the rock. You get me? To love her. From the lens of a woman, the expectation is the nurturer, the multiplier. You don't understand. Even though she's a big baby, but she's a nurturer, she's a multiplier. And she respects her husband. I say this all the time. A rich man that does not take care of women, that does not spend money on women, is on the same level as a beautiful woman, a presumed wife that does not respect a man. If you know, either you're a man or you're a woman, if you know that that person you are in a relationship, oh God, in a relationship, English no go kill you. That person you are in a relationship with, if you know that they are not up to your standard of expectation or who you think you can be in a relationship with, do not complicate people's life. Leave them alone. They will definitely attract somebody that would see their value and love them correctly and respect them correctly. You get me? But this is real life. Majority of the time, the expectation that people have for themselves, their current status cannot afford that expectation. This is real life. Let me say that again. Let's say you want a custom made Lamborghini. That is what you think your expectation is. But you make $14 an hour. Come on now. Even if you rob a bank, you can't afford a custom made. Some human beings are custom made. I swear to you, man. Why do you think they use this statement, a one of one man, a one of one woman? My advice has always been this: become what you're looking for. Oh, women, oh my God. You guys know when I make podcasts, I don't write them down. I just think. Women took that statement too far. Come on now. I said something just now when I said that. Make sure you become what you're looking for. Oh, women took it too far though. Women became the husband they are looking for. They ignored the expectation of what that man is expecting from a woman. We have a lot of women that are doing financially well. Come on now. They are doing well. Good head on their shoulder financially. I said financially, not any other part. Oh. Finance, Princeton. Do you know what it's like to be a godly woman? I strongly believe if you're a godly woman, you will not be sleeping around. A godly man will not be sleeping around. He's not going to be a community prick. Everyone won't have access to you. Does that make sense? But this is real life. People fake these things like, people like to portray the illusion of, okay, I have money, that means I am balanced emotionally. Does that make sense? That means I am connected spiritually. Easy to fake is a good body. Easy to fake is I have money. But there are certain things you cannot fake. Emotional stability cannot be faked. You can fake it for a couple of days, couple of weeks, but come on now. When we start spending time with you, your behavior will come out. Spirituality can be faked, like you have good connection with God. But come on now. Once psychic attacks like this, you are down in war. You get me? But not to deviate though. There are certain expectations. It's pointless to be, as a man, it is pointless for you to be in a relationship with a woman when you know you can't protect, you can't provide, you can't take care of her. What are you there for? The same thing with a woman. It is pointless for you to be in a relationship with a man if you cannot nurture that man, multiply what he has, respect that man. These are expectations. You get my this is real life. There are certain expectations to things. And that does not make the man a misogynist just because you are not what he wants and he tells you to your face rather than ghost you like some, well, what is that English word? Oh God. You know these toxic people that just ghost people. Come on now. People like us will tell you to your face, you're not good for us. You're not good for me. I'll tell you, man. You're not good for me, man. I enjoy getting to know you, but you're not good for me. I expected more from you. And my expectation, the expectation of most men is usually basic, which is, God. Most men will say they want women that have emotional intelligence. I don't think it should be a requirement. Because the bigger percentage of the months, women are emotionally unstable. They will never admit this though. But the expectation, as I was saying, that most men have for women is, and I don't think most women can, but eventually they are capable of doing it though. The expectation is usually, Don't make me guess what is wrong with you. You get my point? Sex is needed in that relationship. That is constant. It has to be constant. Communication has to be pristine. We have to be able to talk. If I do something you don't like, talk to me. Don't just be moody all around. That's you get my point. Like if that is your behavior, you're not ready to be a wife. Come on now. You're not ready to be a wife. And I think I should say this to ladies and gentlemen, if you're listening to me, to the gentlemen and to the ladies. Sex with a girlfriend, with a side chick, with a side piece, you get my point? One night stand, it is completely different from sex with a wife. Let me explain. Or sex, if you're a woman, you can just flip it. It's completely different from sex with a wife and sex with a husband. It is completely different. It's like, when you eventually save up money to buy that item that you have always wanted, and you get to have access to it whenever you want. I'm not talking about all these dummies that act like they don't, those ones that take away sex. Men do it. Men take away sex from their wives. There are wives that take away sex from their husbands. I'm not talking about those idiots, not those low lives. I'm talking about those that, you get my point, like, boy, it's just constant. Because it's yours. It is different. It's a complete different perception of experience. If you don't spice it up, you'll get tired of it. Because you have access to it every time you want. And there's this illusion that comes where you just believe, I don't need to take care of myself. I have this person already. And before you know what's up, either that person is a man or that person is a woman, there will be a resentment. Resentment is not hatred. It's not dislike. It's like in between hatred and dislike. You get me? Like that's why even when you are in a relationship, take care of yourself, man. Take care of yourself. Take care of your body, the way you look. One of the things I have accustomed myself to is every morning when I wake up, I have to bathe. Does that make sense? I have to pick out a new socks, a new boxers and singlet, a new t-shirt, a new short knicker, because I wear the same thing every day. I have to vacuum the whole place. Usually, you guys remember when we first started this podcast, when we used to pay people to come and clean the place twice in a week. Now I vacuum the whole place. You get my point? I do my couple of push-ups right there. Babies around, babies doing their own thing. I'm out here doing my own thing. I go to bathe. You get me? Most married couples they don't feel the need to do it because they are married already. And me, when I bathe, I don't shower. I bathe. You know what it means to bathe? I bathe because I'm an African man. I bathe with bucket and bowl. So you use you wash your balls. There was this woman that reached out to me a couple of months ago. I decided not to talk about her. She said her husband does not like bathing and showering. He bathes like once in a week. And the problem they're having right now is he smells. This is a woman talking to me on this podcast about her husband. But then the man is always requesting for a blowjob. If that woman resist, or let's say that man, if a man or a woman insists on going down on you, the husband or the wife, people will say, what do you mean by you can't go down on your wife or your husband? But it has to be clean. You get my point? Because there are certain expectations, because we are all human beings. And surprisingly, I've accustomed myself to this. Because I have many bottles of cologne. You guys know that. You guys know that. Back in the day when we used to show off on this podcast. The same cologne I use, you know what? You know how people have different bottle of cologne when they are going to this expensive, extravagant. Me, I use everything together. I don't use multiple bottles of cologne. I pick one and I use one. Ta, 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 ta. So it depends on my mood. Some days I just want to smell like Louis Vuitton. Some days I just want to smell like Tom Ford. I just want to smell like Creed. You get me? So I just pick one and just use. So even if I'm not going anywhere, I smell good. You get me? You have to take, that's why I talk about you have to take care of your hygiene, not just your physical hygiene, your spiritual hygiene, emotional hygiene, physical, that one sure, and financial hygiene. Because you need that is for men, for women too. Finance, if your husband if your husband is if your husband has it, I don't think you really need to work that hard. You get me? But not to deviate though, not to deviate. Being in a partnership, saying you are in a partnership, that is in a sexual dynamics. I think you're trying to complicate things. And I understand when we look at the metrics of the divorce rate in the West. Come on now. They said 55% of any marriage, any newly wedded, 55% is a lot. They said any new wedded, there's a 55% chance they will end up in divorce. It's like me telling you there's a 55% chance you won't come back home when you leave the house. I am confident nobody's going to come back. I'm confident no one is going to leave their house. Oh God, I beat myself. I'm confident no one is going to leave their house. It is because we are erasing the blurry line. You understand? There are certain lines in every relationship. There are certain lines in every dynamics. You get me? I'm not trying to be a partner with baby. Partner about baby is not my friend. You get me? Like these are things that people complicate. People trying to add into relationship and saying my wife is my friend. She's not your friend. My wife is my best friend. She's not your best friend. And you know me, I am a realistic person. Your wife or your husband is not your best friend in no way. It's like saying your boss or your co-workers are your best friends. No. You guys have mutual respect for one another to get the job done. Period. And in a healthy relationship, you have your friends, they have their friends. And you respect, like take example. There are some of my girls' friends that they went to school together that I've seen and I've noticed that they are making advances towards me. I told my woman, which is, I don't want to see this woman here again. She did this, she did this. Because me, I will tell you, don't come and scatter my house because you have big bum. You get me? If she has common sense, she's going to listen to what I told her immediately. Some women will say, what do you mean by you don't want to see my friends no more? If I am her husband and I just told you what I want, she should listen to me. Like nonsense. And surprisingly, my woman is not African. You get me? She's not African. But respect, mutual respect, and the fact that I am a man of this house. You get me? There are certain expectations, but let's just say we are in a partnership dynamic. She can do anything and I tell her not to do it. She say, what do you mean by you don't want me to do it? Are you high? The problem I see with people is this. You've never been in a dynamics where you pay somebody for them to have ultimate control over you. When you start making money, and you travel to certain places in the world, I want you to employ the service of a bodyguard. They will give you a paperwork for you to sign. In that contract, they will tell you, in the means of violence encounter, you are giving them the right to do whatever it takes to you to keep you safe. Take for example, you tell them this is where we should go, and they tell you we are jumping off of the cliff. You have signed away that they can shoot your legs or shoot your hands, so that way you can be, you get me? They have to lift you up and keep you alive. It is impossible for your husband to protect you and to be the authoritative figure of that house if he does not have control. Learn to become a wife. Learn to become a husband. It is going to serve you. I'm telling you the truth though. It is going to serve you. The problem I see from talking to different people on this platform is both men and women, they believe they are too good to be in a relationship with the opposite sex. At the end of the day, you have to settle down to be in a relationship. If I don't want to settle, you have to settle down to be in a relationship. I'm telling you, because either you're a man or you're a woman, exploring different alternatives, different options, you're not going to select anyone. As a matter of fact, you're going to be miserable. Because in psychology, we know this as human beings. People don't do well with lots of options. Now, what do you take away from this, from today's podcast? What do you take away from it? You learn to become the expectation of the bigger picture of where you see yourself going into. Because every system, every human being you will come in contact with in this life, they have certain expectations for you. Now, it is within your rights. If it does not work for you, come on now, tell them, I cannot control. I cannot continue this. It was nice to meet you. Period. Since the inception of this podcast, we have talked about different ways to heal yourself from your past trauma and become a better human being. Let's just assume you are now a better human being and you want to be in a relationship. Do not contradict. Do not complicate. Become the expectation and have this mindset that that person is coming in to match your expectation of what you expect them to be. There's this statement I strongly believe that expectation is a form of entitlement. I strongly believe if love is involved, you're going to understand that no one is perfect. I'm not a perfect human being. I have my shortcomings. The reason why I selected my girl over every other options that I had was because she respects me. She cares about me. Does that make sense? Most people, the caring part will go out of the window once they stop. Once that person, let's say you, for example, let's say you stop matching or you stop giving to me what I was getting from you. Most people will cut away the respect and the care that they were giving. And if you want to be in a prolonged relationship, marriage, friendship, business, or nothing, even when that person stopped giving to you what you used to benefit, yours must continue. Let's say you're with your wife or you're with your husband and they're just doing anyhow. People can do anyhow. You get me? That does not mean you go out of the way and just start disrespecting them. But you know, this is real life. We see this all the time. If you go to the family court, come on now, you see where husband and wife are gunning for each other's head over material things. You get me? As far as I'm concerned, it was never love. You get me? Do not complicate life, though. Be the light in the world. You get me? When you become love, that's why I teach on this platform that you have to make sure you become love. Make sure you become love, my good friends. Don't go out there looking for people to love you and show you how loving life can be. You'll be disappointed though. when you become love, you find it easy to walk away from something that does not benefit you rather than contradict and complicate things. You get me? I strongly believe if we have a disagreement, we should be able to talk about it and come to resolution, because we have a destination. We have something we are going, like we have something we plan to build. But that is not how people work. In a partnership dynamics, people want that concept of you are wrong, I am right. And I want you to see things from my perspective. How about you see things? How about you see things from my perspective? How about we both see things from each other's perspective to know that we are not perfect? We are not perfect beings. We are not perfect human beings. You get me? Now, you have a choice, because I assumed you're single. This is not for all of you. Some of you are married. Become the expectation of the bigger picture of what you want to become. Let's say someday you want to get married. You are a woman, you want a wife. Learn to match what is expected of you. Let's say you are a man. Someday you see yourself getting married to a wife. Learn to become a husband to compensate with the assumption that she's coming in to match that. And in previous content, I think I've explained how to do this, my good friends. You guys should take it easy though. Continue to be well. Chin up always, my good friends. If you want mentorship and explore most of the things that I talk about in depth, check out My Innovation University. It's in the link, irrespective of the platform you see this. Either below, you can check the link down below, or check the link all below. Now, the programs in there are not yet available, but you can download a freebie. A freebie is like a free ebooks and journal. Journal is where you write, okay, this is what I thought about. You write it down. Oh, this is what I want to do. You write it down. It is a digital ebook. Go there. Go to our website, My Innovation University. Become a better human being. Keep working on yourself, my good friends. No one knows everything. Nobody is perfect. Love you guys, friends. Be well.